You ever sat down to edit, write, or brainstorm, and next thing you know, you've lost an hour on TikTok? As a content creator, your iPhone can be your biggest tool or your biggest distraction. In this video, I'm going to show you how to stop your iPhone from killing your focus and make it work for your creative flow. The first thing we're going to do is to kill the notification overload. Notifications are the biggest distractions on your iPhone. So what we're going to do, we're going to go into settings. We are going to go into notifications, and you can turn off notifications for specific apps. So let's say, for example, because I have a social media app on here, let's say it's TikTok, I can simply turn off and say do not allow notifications. This option is really radical if you are distracted easily with regards to notifications coming in from different apps. So you can either turn it on, turn it off, or you can say to deliver. What it will do, it will capture all of the notifications during the day, and you can state when you want it to be delivered within a specific time. All right, so you can also have time sensitive notification direct messages. So the good thing about this is that with specific apps, you can state if you find that you go into a specific app quite a lot because of the notifications, you can turn it off in here. One of the other features that really helped me to activate across all Apple devices is my focus modes, and my focus modes gives me the option to silence all notifications and calls and all distractions, whether I am creating or whether I am doing deep focus work where I don't want to be disturbed. So what we're going to do, we're going to go into settings again, and by default this is my normal settings. All right, this is the normal settings for my phone. What I have done is to go into settings, then I'm going to go down to focus, and inside of focus here you're seeing a list of all the focus modes that I have created. Now let's say, for example, I wanted to add a creator mode. I simply tap at the top here. I'm going to go to custom. I'm going to call this creator. I'm going to change the color. All right, I would prefer a camera, but it is not available. So I'm just going to put this little pencil. I'm going to click on next. All right, so it's going to give you an overview of all of the options for this creator focus. It's going to silence notifications. You can share with friends. You have notification silence and all the things. So the additional step is that I can customize my focus. So with the customizing of my focus, I can choose who I want to accept notifications from. I can have intelligent breakthrough and silencing. This is where Apple Intelligence would prioritize certain notifications. I can choose apps, and I can also customize my screen, right? So I can choose apps. I can say which apps I would allow, or if I just want to silence all notifications. And so for this one, when I'm in creator mode, I may need CapCut, the DJI, my notes. So I'm going to take off all the other things that would distract me. I can also add an app. I can select Notion in here because I do use that. Use Notion, add. And so I'm only accepting notifications from these specific apps. So these focus modes are really, really helpful when it comes to the Apple ecosystem overall. But when it comes to your individual devices, you can customize it based on that specific device. But it's applied to all other devices in the ecosystem. All right, one other thing that I have adjusted in my settings is removing the red badges for apps. That can be a bit distracting for me as a content creator and a full-time entrepreneur, because once I see a notification on different apps, the likelihood of me tapping into those apps to see what the notification is a bit distracting, and I can lose focus. So what I have done to turn on or turn off the red badges for my social media apps, if you notice here, I may have LinkedIn that has 14 notifications. Once I see that, it's likely that I'm going to be distracted. I'm going to want to tap into that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go into settings. I'm going to come down to notifications, and I'm going to look for LinkedIn. And then I'm going to scroll all the way down. You see where you have badges. I'm gonna take that off. And then once I swipe out, and I go in here, I notice that I do not, the notification and that number has disappeared. So these are different ways that you can kill the notification overload on your iPhone to set it up so you can stay focused and there are less distractions. So why would you do this? Because constant notifications can actually kill your creative flow and makes it impossible for you to focus and do the things that you need to do on that specific device. Okay, so the next thing we are going to focus on, let's talk about decluttering your home screen. I know we love all the aesthetics and all the things, but if you're easily distracted as a creative, you should think about decluttering your home screen to keep the focus on what it is you need to do on different devices. So for my iPhone, what I have done, I have created a single home screen. And these home screens are the apps that I use frequently, either for business or my creative work. All right, so I do have on the left, once I swipe on the left, I do have the news and my device, my battery notifications or my battery signals. I have this one page with the calendar widget, with my weather app, and with the apps that I use very frequently in my business and my creative process. Now, if I swipe to the left, it takes me to the app library. This really helps me to stay focused. And also I have removed social media apps off of my home screen, which will not allow me to actually go into the app soon as I pick up my iPhone. I will literally have to scroll. And sometimes to do that extra scroll, it takes energy and you get discouraged, at least for me. All right, but here is another neat trick when it comes to having focus on your iPhone, whether you're coming on your phone to use CapCut or whatever the case may be. There is another way in which you can remove the distractions from your home screen. So what we're going to do, we're going to go over to settings, and then we're going to go back into focus. And we're going to go back into that creator mode. And once I'm in creator mode, I can actually customize my screens. I can customize my screen. So once this particular mode is activated, I will have a dedicated screen for that mode. So I'm going to go to choose. All right. And then I'm going to select this one because I kind of created it already from a previous one. I'm going to click on done, but I can also edit it. I'm going to click on done. All right. And let me show you. So right now, this is my regular home screen. If I swipe down and I tap and hold on focus and I choose creator and I swipe up back, this is my page for the creator focus mode. Similarly, if I'm doing deep work, let's say mindfulness, and I go into mindfulness, these are I'm using it. So inside of the creator mode, I can also edit the page. I can remove what I don't want. I can add a widget. So if I don't want to see all of this, I can do so. All right. And I can say, well, okay, I just want to be able to view my notes. So I can either want to view my notes, or if I want just my Notion, right? I can add that up there, and so Notion will come in, right? If it populates, right? So my Notion would actually come in, and so I will have deep focus work. So I know my creator mode is on, and these are just the apps that I need to see on the screen. If I want to take it off, I just tap to take off, and it returns it to my regular home screen. So great way of removing the distractions on your iPhone. Another thing, for most people, colors can become a distraction on your phone. Again, if you really want to get into productivity, you can try these different techniques or these different features on the iPhone to see if it's going to help you to remove the distractions. Another cool feature that the iPhone and even the overall Apple ecosystem allows you to do is to turn on the grayscale mode, right? So I'm going to swipe over to settings, right? I'm going to go into accessibility. I'm going to come down to display and text sizes. All right. And then we're going to scroll down where it has color filters. I'm going to tap on that. So these are the colors. If I tap to turn on color filters, I can choose grayscale, red, green filter, green, red, blue, and yellow, or a color tint. So if I choose grayscale, it actually makes my entire phone grayscale and kind of boring, visually boring and less tempting. All right, so this is another way in which you can actually declutter and remove those distractions. I can just turn this off and it returns the phone back to its vivid colored state. When it comes to decluttering your home screen, a cluttered home screen equals a cluttered mind, and less visual noise equals more focus. Now, if you have seen my iPad tutorials on how to make the iPad a productivity machine, I have turned my iPhone also into a productivity machine when I want to get something done. I have two iPhones, one for personal as well as one for business. The one for business, I have strategically installed specific apps on the iPhone because I either create short form content or editing short form content on my iPhone through CapCut, or I am going on there to post. So I do that on my business phone versus my personal phone. And so that helps me to one, stay organized and separate business and personal. But on the flip side of it, I do have most of my business apps as well as my productivity apps on my iPhone. So when it comes to organizing my content and my editorial calendar and all the things, I do use Notion along with the Apple productivity apps like Notes, Reminders, and all the things. So I'm going to share with you some of the productivity apps I have on my iPhone that helps me to stay focused, and also it helps with my creative flow when I am creating or editing short form content on my phone. Right, so with Notion, I'm able to have a central location to manage my projects, to manage my editorial calendar and all the things. So if I need to make a quick reference instead of jumping on my computer or my iPad and I need it on the go, I simply click in on my editorial calendar and I either tap into the day in this case. So, all right, so I could tap into a specific day and I can literally get information right at the tip of my fingers with regards to my content. If I need to make reference to a specific link inside of that content calendar, I do so. And so, for example, if I want to get to the newsletter that I've sent out, maybe I want to copy or share the link, this is a great way for me to stay focused by putting the apps that is necessary on my phone. So Notion has become one of my productivity boosting apps when it comes to organizing my content, ideas, as well as planning out my overall content as a creative and business owner. Now, when I want to stay on top of things, I do use the Apple Reminders. So with Apple Reminders, I do use that along with my iPad. So I do have my Maximize My Day list, and so I would list out my priorities. I would state which tasks I need to have completed, and I also see the tasks that I need to get done. So in this way, I can also add quick reminders so I can stay on top of my top tasks and priorities. Now, I have included the calendar app on my home screen because I do meet with clients. I do have client work and all the things as a business owner. So I want to make sure that I am staying on top and keeping track of appointments as well as tasks that I have scheduled. So the widget allows me to get in and see all the things that I have going on within a specific month or within that specific week, and priorities that I need just to keep track of my appointments in that specific day or that specific week. Now, when it comes to having a second brain to keep my ideas organized and just jot down quick ideas or just make a quick note or a reference of something that I may be researching on my phone, or I'm looking at a show on TV or something and I get a quick content idea, my notes is my go-to place to jot all of that down. But the key thing when it comes to effectively using notes on your Apple devices, especially on your iPhone, is having some level of organization so it's easier to find stuff. So when I go into the Notes app, I have created a whole filing system for my notes. And so if I want to jot down a quick note about content specifically, I can say, yes, this is a content idea for B-roll. Let's just give this as an example. I'm going to put in the hashtag content so I can tag it. And also I can just do my idea if I need to do a recording, because sometimes when I'm doing deep work or I come up with an idea, instead of typing, I can lose it. So what I simply do is just do the recording and let AI do all the other stuff for me in terms of getting the transcript, and it actually summarizes the recording, right? So, and I go back into my folders and I go into content as a tag. I'm going to see that content that I just added here. All right, so that's a great way for me. Apple Notes is another great, is my second brain more or less, to capture and store my ideas, but also keep it organized. All right, so let me give you a bonus, another bonus feature that creatives and even entrepreneurs are now using to boost their productivity and have that focus and less distractions with their devices is actually using screen time. The screen time feature. Now, the screen time feature allows you to keep track of how much time you're spending on an app, so you can reduce that time, but also you can set app limits where it actually shuts down that app on you after you've been on it for a specific time, if it's really, really bad. All right, so how do you actually activate it? So we're gonna go into settings, and then we're gonna go into screen time. And so where you have app and website activity, you can tap there and we can turn it on. Mine is not turned on because I have developed the discipline of not picking up my phone during certain key times, and because I have a structure of how my day is and having more productive days, I've never really turned this on. So you can always turn it on here. And you can have downtime, so you can schedule time away from the screen. You can actually set your app limits, so you can add a limit. If it's social and you say you're distracted by TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook, and even Threads, you can tap on next. So this limit is going to be applied to all devices where the apps are. And so you can say you just want to spend maybe 30 minutes, because if you are a creative and a business owner, you may just want to do some interactions, respond to comments and DMs. So you would just set the time accordingly, and you can just tap on add. And so every day you spend 30 minutes and then the app shuts down. All right, so you can either turn off and turn on that. So that is a bonus tip. If you really want to break away from that distraction cycle on your phone, these are key features that can help you to maintain your focus, do what you need to get done on your iPhone, as well as improve your productivity as a creative and business owner. Your iPhone should be a tool for creation and not a trap for consumption. Now, I am not saying that you can't enjoy social media on your phone and all the things, but when it comes to creating content consistently and improving your productivity as a creative and a business owner, you will definitely need to limit the things that distract you on your devices, whether it's your iPhone, your iPad, or even your computer. What I want you to do is implement these changes and watch how your creative output is going to grow. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more content creator productivity hacks. Join my free newsletter for exclusive creator strategies, and share this with another creator who struggles with iPhone distraction.